All right. Now call the city council regular meeting to order for October the 9th, 6 p.m. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. The invocation given by Deputy Mayor Jim Bernard.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your love. Care. We ask you to lift your arms not only around us, but throughout the world. Do what you can. Do not be again, Lord. Please, Lord, stop this chaos, Lord. Not only here in this country, but all the people. Many lost their lives. We pray for the families, as well as those in this country. We ask you to guide us, give us wisdom, knowledge, we do well to do.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the city. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Councilmember McGuire.
Here.
Councilmember McCure.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bernard.
Here.
Mayor Anderson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Up first will be the consent agenda. I'll be looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for
4 and 5.
this week, 4 and
Yep.
5, yes.
All right. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire.
Yes.
Councilmember McCure.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard.
Yes.
Mayor Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
First item be number 6. This will be a public hearing and a second reading for ordinance number 10-2023.
Get it? Later.
It's on 22.
22, yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
An ordinance of the city of Avon Park amending chapter 50, fire prevention and protection, article 2, fire department, division 2, firefighters retirement system of the code of ordinances of the city of Avon Park, amending section 50-56, benefits amounts and eligibility, amending section 50-58, disability, providing for codification, providing for severability of provisions, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
All right, as I said, this will be a public hearing for the second reading of ordinance number 10-2023. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to speak on this issue can now do so. Seeing no hands. Take it back to the council. Do we have a motion for this?
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 10-2023, please.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire.
Yes.
Councilmember McCure.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard.
Yes.
Mayor Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 7, this will also be a public hearing for the second reading of ordinance number 12-2023.
It's ordinance of the city of Avon Park, Florida, amending chapter 2 of the city code, adding article 7, section 2-362, providing for implementing the state's statutory mandate to prepare business impacts estimates prior to adoption of proposed ordinances pursuant to section 166.0414 Florida statutes, providing findings, adopting business impact estimate procedures, requirements and exemptions, adopting business impact estimate worksheet and allowing amendment of such worksheet by the city manager, providing for charging for costs of business impact assessment when appropriate, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, public hearing for ordinance number 12-2023 is now open. Anyone wishing to speak on this ordinance can now do so. Seeing no speakers. Public hearing for ordinance number 12-2023 is now closed. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 12-23, please.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Page 3, section C, where it states that, the city may in its sole discretion waive its pass-through charge. In what instance would we do that? I mean, if somebody can give me an example.
Were you-
Page three,
Page 3,
be at the top, the
section
red
C,
print.
It's in the red, the change that was made in the red.
Oh. Okay,
I-
well, if somebody requests an ordinance to be done that has to, and it's required to have a impact statement, such as an ordinance to close or vacate an alley, we would charge the cost of doing that to the people wanting to vacate the alley or the street or the road or whatever. That would be an instance of that would come about. But there's other instances where people request something that requires an ordinance to get passed, like zoning. Right now, that's exempted, but the conventional wisdom for everybody that I've spoken to and Florida League of Cities recommends that you still do the business impact statement, even for those at this point, until the law has clarified, that area. So yeah, that's why we can charge a fee, but the city council in the circumstances can waive it if they don't wish to charge it.
I think-
Otherwise, if I put it in the ordinance that you have to charge it, that you charge it, you would have to charge it. This
Okay.
way you have the option.
I think at this point, we still don't know how much we would even be a realistic fee for it, right?
Exactly.
Now, it may be if there's a complicated one, you have to have outside person do it, in which case you'd be charged with, I don't know, bookkeeping fee or something like that. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's something we really don't know what's going to be required at this point, other than the fact this requires just good faith, estimates at this point. But we don't know after challenges and things like that where it's going to end up.
So once we pass this, we will be doing this for every ordinance going forward. Is that right?
Every ordinance, we're doing it right now for every ordinance, including these.
So have we actually done one of these in practice to see what kind of time it takes?
It was done for these, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just the two that are in your packet, but they were easy ones because they're laws, so
I
that's what
see.
we have to do.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming you don't have any kind of a chart as to what you think we would need to charge as a city going forward.
No, I think it's really going to depend on the ordinance itself
Okay.
and how in-depth it is affecting the businesses, so it's
Okay.
kind of wait and see like the other cities are.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item number 8, this would be an event request for the Veterans Day celebration at Veterans Triangle. This will be for the Highlands County NAACP, Mr. Al Norton. Do we have any questions for Mr. Norton? Excuse me, Knowlton, sorry. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you want to give us a
Yes,
brief overview of what the event will be?
yes, I'm listening. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the city council for approving the use of the Southside Veterans Gardens in the past few years. And the Veteran Affairs Committee of Highlands County NAACP provided complimentary luncheon for every year. We've done this honoring all Highlands County veterans. This year, we have representatives from Veterans Benefit Administration and Veterans Healthcare Administration in Bay Pines. They will be present at the luncheon to answer benefit questions, to process on-site claims, and to share mental health resources. Also, free gun locks in support of firearm safety and other giveaway items will be available to veterans. We would like to get the word out to all veterans in Highlands County.
Very good.
All right.
I'm assuming we have insurance on file and everything city needs, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Anything staff would like to add?
No.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Mr. Knowlton?
I just have a question. I noticed on here that you're not putting out any signs? Any signs on?
Signs?
Just to announce your event?
No, nothing
No?
large, just small signs, just
Oh,
for,
okay.
just,
And
just,
you don't need the road to be closed off?
no road closures, no. We have areas for parking. We don't need any of that, any road closures.
Well, good
Only
luck
thing
with
we
it.
need is to have electric in that area. That's
Yeah.
it.
So I'm guessing this event will be added to our event calendar if it hasn't already. Okay. So we'll be advertised on the city website at least, and then of course, any other methods that they're going to use. Any other questions?
Nope,
Seeing
thank
none, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve item 8, event request, Veterans Day celebration.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, please.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call a roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes,
motion passes.
Mr. Knowlton, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, item number 9, this will be an event request, taking it to the streets. Alicia Wilson, the Faith Pentecostal House of God. It's like she is here. If you will, just state your name for the record and give us a brief overview of your event.
Alencia Wilson, 1445 South Carolina Avenue. This is a community-wide event and it has quite a few sponsors, multiple churches that are coming together, and we're also partnering with the Hands for Homeless company, or the Hands for Homeless people up there. And we're going to be taking clothing and free meals. We're offering prayer, and we're going to be, of course, sharing the gospel with the community during this time on December the 9th. And we'd like your approval. That's
Okay.
basically it. We'll be there from about 12 to 4, and everything is free. And we'd like to do this hopefully on a semi-annual basis, twice a year. But right now, we're talking about December the 9th.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, staff, we have everything we need on this event.
Yeah, actually, this is on private property where they're holding it. They're just asking for the north end of South A Avenue to be blocked off.
Right, for parking, so that people can park along that street.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I see an invoice or proposal for insurance, but did you get the insurance yet?
Not
Yes,
yet. Oh,
Okay.
we have the insurance. They just haven't sent us the
certificate.
the policy certificate, but we do have it.
Thank you.
Obviously, we just need a copy of that for the event
Right,
time.
right. And she told me I had up until 2 weeks to get it in, but I should have it in before then.
Perfect. Any other questions on this event?
I have a question.
Go
The
ahead.
clothing that you're gonna be passing out, is that for all ages, children?
It's whatever the churches in the community provides. So I'm not really sure exactly what the sizes are. It's just whoever wants to donate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And should they donate, do they contact you?
Yes,
Okay.
and that number, they can contact me or Dwayne Council. The numbers are at the bottom of the flyer.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I have a motion for item 9, event request, taking it to the streets.
It's a motion to approve, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second, please.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes,
motion passes.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up be item number 10. This would be an event request, truck or treat, AP Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Campbell Long. Campbell, if you will, state your name for the record and give us a brief overview.
Sure. Hi there, Kamala Long, 28 East Main Street, Chamber of Commerce. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you guys again. So the Trunk or Treat is an event we'd like to host in the Johnson Park. And it's going to be with the Car Club that will be providing the bagged candy, wrapped candy. Small event, nothing major.
Okay. All right. Staff, do we have everything that we need on this event?
We do, and we received our insurance.
Perfect. Okay, any questions for Kamala?
I have a question. How many vendors do you have so far?
We have about 7, so we're just really looking to have a small event, maybe 7 to 14 vendors, a variety of food and jewelry and different things like that.
Gotcha.
And car club would probably be about 8 to 10 cars. It's not really a big event. We're really just looking to start having a momentum with community events in Avon Park. So it's more like start off in Donaldson Park with a small event. It may grow to something bigger, but the idea is that we want to have what I call a drip event. It's just like little something frequently.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that people get used to the idea that, hey, we're doing something.
So the event that we do have sometimes on Lake Avenue, was it also called Trunk or Treat, or Jim, do you remember?
I thought it was, but I don't remember.
Where everybody
Sure.
kind of backed up to the street there and would hand out candy to the
On Main Street or Lake Avenue?
Lake Avenue, is what I'm talking about.
It was Lake Avenue, but
It wasn't an actual event. per
no,
se.
and
It
I
was-
think they sort of scaled it down over the last couple of years.
I know they took it out to Avon Park Lakes around Lake Olivia.
Yeah, they have an event out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, a big event.
Okay.
So that may be where you were.
Yeah.
But if it is, it'll probably be on Saturday, so this is
Yes.
Sunday,
So the idea there are a number of organizations, nonprofits and churches and different things that are having trunk or treats. I think the Moose Lodge is having something, and a lot of people are having different types of Halloween type events. We're calling this a fall festival. So
I
it's a
see.
fall fun fest for families. Do you see the alliteration there with all the Fs?
Sure.
Kamala,
Yes.
is there a certain age for this?
No, it's just family.
Just
Yeah.
family?
Mhm. And they can come in costumes if they want to. There's no competition, like there's no contest or anything. It's just, again, it's an opportunity to say to the community, we are starting something small, and we hope it will grow into something bigger. But for the time being, we're just looking for the opportunity to say to the community, hey, we're here.
Sure.
We're doing something for you.
Good job.
Very good. Any other questions on item number 9?
Nope.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
That's number 2.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
10.
Item number 10.
I have a motion to approve item number 10, Trunk or Treat, Avon Park Chamber of Commerce.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Another event request for the AP Annual Christmas Parade. Again, Kamala.
Okay, so I am new to this. You guys have probably been to a gazillion Christmas parades, and I have not. So, when I attended last year, I was in the parade with the Historical Society. I rode in the car. And so I observed just that there were certain parts of Main Street that was dark. I observed a lot of people gathering around like 4 o'clock. Chairs were set up and they were there for like a couple, 3 hours before the parade actually started. I also observed that it ended on one side of Main Street and it didn't go up past the Jacaranda where there was a balcony of people sort
Right.
of like waving and waiting. And so,
Except for going by really fast.
well, when they were leaving,
Okay.
because they were exiting the parade.
Right.
So my thought at the time was, oh, I have to remember to tell George about that. Well, George isn't here, so I'm here. And my goal with this is to, have the different organizations and businesses on Main Street do like a door decorating, make sure they have lighting outside their businesses. And I am asking for the parade route to be altered slightly, not extend all the way to Delaney. So cutting that last little peak out, the little block out, turn on Verona and go back up past the Jacaranda and end at Museum Avenue. And Museum Avenue has a lot of parking. So there's the library parking, the depot parking, and that area will facilitate parents picking up little ones, et cetera. And if at the end of the first part of Main, when we go down, I guess it's East Main, if the little ones that are walking and dancing and they can't go back up towards Museum, that part of the road would actually be blocked off. So parents could actually pick up little ones there if they needed to, like say if they couldn't go that little couple extra blocks. There'll be an added block because we're cutting off one, but we're adding two. So
Okay. Questions on the parade event?
This is Sunday.
it's Monday. It's Monday, the 27th of November. And one more thing I'm adding is, again, because I observed that people were there for so long, there was no food, there was no drink, there was nothing for individuals to do for a few hours before the parade started. I am having vendors sign up to be on the cross streets. So in between the parade route, like along the parade route in between, we'd have vendors selling, again, food and jewelry, whatever vendors want to be out there. We've got a few sign up, about 10 or so signed up.
Okay. I'm assuming you've got the schedule for the other towns parade. Is that what drove it to November?
So again, I'm not as familiar, but my understanding is it's always the first Monday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be my preference to have it in December, but I'm not messing with the age-old tradition in Avon Park
Got
for when the parade is. So I think it just fell that way.
Okay.
I think in previous years, it might have been the first Monday in December.
Always been the first
Mhm.
Monday.
Yeah.
Always.
That's why we're usually first, right?
Right.
And Friday is Sebring.
Yes, we have that on the first Monday because Sebring usually has it the first weekend in December.
So they're
And
Friday.
then Lake Placid usually has it the next weekend after that.
Mhm.
So I think it actually just works out for us that way.
Mhm. I don't mind being first. It's okay.
So Kamala, I got a
Yeah.
question. Let me make sure I understand. You want the parade to come all the way down to Lake or Verona?
Verona.
Verona.
Mhm.
And it usually stops where?
Delaney in front of Hendricks.
Okay.
I think in previous years, it stopped at Verona
Yeah.
because they turn right there in front of the fountain and go back. I don't think it's ever gone to Delaney. I mean, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but we've always ended right there.
I don't recall.
Right.
I was just in it last year.
Most of the time, but sometimes they weren't properly marked or whatever, and people just kind of went
Oh, okay.
everywhere, but I mean, I've always thought it was foolish to not turn around the loop and start going back by the Jacaranda, because as you say, there's always a huge group of people that's there. And now you have the ability to utilize both sides of Main Street. I mean, if you live on one side, you're not gonna want to necessarily cross it, especially if you get there late, so. makes
There
sense.
isn't a lot between museum. I mean, in all fairness, once you pass the bank building, there isn't a lot between there and museum, right? But museum just seemed like a natural break because of the parking in the 3 parking lots that are available for parents to pick up kids and
At
things
least
like that.
100 parking spaces there.
Correct. Yeah. And they have to go to Pleasant anyway to go back up to Head. So why not just turn on museum as opposed to going back up to Anoka?
Yep.
And one of the, wouldn't call it a complaint, but one of the recommendations was that people have to line up at Anoka really super early and they're starving. And Dana 70, for example, they feed their staff barbecue. Well, the smell of barbecue at the top of Anoka when people have been sitting there for 3 hours was causing a little problem. So she said, can you have a food truck up there? I'm going to say, okay, I'll try. So I think it's just going to be more of an event. Again, not just show up and it's a parade. There are a couple of things the chamber is doing earlier too in the afternoon. So from 2 to 4, we're going to have pictures with Santa at the Jacaranda. We've made arrangements for that. And then 4 to 6, we're just going to have the event line up and just have it really organized and people know where to go and have the vendors come out from 4 o'clock. And so that way, people that are lined up or sitting out, they can have something to do, walk around. And each little block will have some type of entertainment or food or vendors for them. And then the parade starts in the dark. It starts at 7.
Sure.
So.
Well, hopefully you'll get some good feedback and be able to fill in the gaps that we've had,
My only suggestion on
Mhm.
museum, when
Mhm.
you maybe have one side of the street that they can keep going, like a through street.
Mhm.
Because a lot of them are not going to drop their kids off and stuff like that. And then have one side of the street where they can maybe stop and let the kids off with their parents. Because on museum, there's enough for 2 ways, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's only parking on one side. So if you made the right lane, the through lane, which is the natural anyways,
And then that way we wouldn't have a bottleneck right there, because eventually the museum's gonna be full and then we're gonna be backing up
Right.
the parade route
Mhm.
and everybody's gonna be at a standstill. But maybe if you had the one side next to the library where people could actually stop, and let the kids off, but then have the other one a through street so they can go on and go where they need to be.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We can certainly do that because there is room on the left-hand side where the depot parking spots are. But my thought is that the parade route would just, I guess, keep going and then,
Unless you want them to stop and let the kids off though.
yeah. I thought those that were letting kids off would go into like the Heartland Cultural Alliance parking lot. There's a natural exit.
Mhm.
It's like a turnaround.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pickup lane at school.
There's several ways to do it. I think the key
Mhm.
is gonna be having a couple of staff members there that actually know how to direct traffic.
Right.
We'll
no
get
matter
the
how
schools
many
out.
cones
How's
you put
that?
out
The
there.
pickup and drop off line people know how to do that.
Yeah.
You might want to have somebody directing traffic at the end of museum also.
Okay.
Otherwise, those floats are going to be waiting there all night for people
Mhm.
on that, what is that, Circle Pleasant.
Pleasant, yeah.
Good idea. We can do that.
And then that'll cause a bottleneck, which I actually think that's a good idea to run it back down because last year, once the parade's over, people think 40 through there. I've seen a lot of kids run out in front of trucks and cars and floats.
And well, and the other thing is the idea of having vendors is that it will still be a little bit of a community opportunity for families after the parade. If they didn't eat before, they could eat after, or they could mingle a little bit for, a little tiny bit after. I don't know what time the road will be open back up, but
Sure. I'm sure your vendors will tell you how successful it is.
yes,
So I got a question coming.
Mhm.
Is it food truck vendors or just vendors?
vendors. So
Okay.
food and others.
And how
Mhm.
many did you get to participate?
So far, we have about, I think, 10 to 14. I haven't looked today, but I looked like a couple of days ago.
Okay, and what is the deadline if vendors still want to participate?
So that's a good question. I have what I call an early registration until the 31st of October, where it's a discounted rate. And then I think I haven't set a deadline in November. That's one of the things I'm working with because I want it to be full. I don't want to cut off the deadline and then people don't register. So I think maybe a week before. I'll try like a week before
But right
The
now, it's
parade?
the 31st of this month,
for early bird registration.
early registration.
Mhm.
And how did you contact the vendors?
Twofold. So I've gone around to a lot of different festivals, farmers markets, events of the last month or so, and just talked to them, collected business cards, send them emails. I am doing an e-blast every week. Every Tuesday morning, we have an e-blast that goes out. And vendors have been signing up through that. And actually today, I had my amazing volunteer from our chamber take previous lists of vendors and participants for the parade, and we are sending out personal emails to all of them.
And are these local or out of town?
Both,
Both.
actually. Both we've got people from Okeechobee, Frostproof, Polk County, everywhere.
Okay. And my last question is, do you give local first choice?
I don't, it's a first come, first served.
First come,
It's who
first-
signs up. But I'm not in the business of turning people away. I really want to make it friendly for everyone.
Okay.
But like at the 11th hour, like 4 o'clock on the 27th is not going to be acceptable, right? Like we have to have, a couple of days before, a week before.
Any other questions?
Just FYI, the only reason why I asked you about Sunday, because on your little flyer picture here, it says Sunday. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
I was aware of that. That's like don't do your newsletter like midnight the night before it's due.
Well,
That's what that
if you
was.
started printing something up, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I corrected it for
I
tomorrow.
figured you would.
Yeah.
Okay, all good.
Any other questions on the parade?
Nope.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve D12.
Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Now back to the food truck rally that I forgot.
yeah, I think we skipped 11, didn't you?
We did. All right, item number 11, this will be a food truck rally. If you will, give us an overview.
Sure. Again, the idea here is to have an opportunity for community for people to know that there's something going on in Avon Park. And so 2 to 5 is our trunk or treat in Donaldson Park. And this food truck rally is something I'd like to see continue as part of a staple in Avon Park. Right now, it's going to be on private lot on the corner of Main and Verona. We've got permission from the property owners to host there. And pretty much everything is going to be self-contained on that lot. We may need some cones just to, make sure the street is open, like we're not blocking off the street or anything, but we need just put some cones just for safety of anybody walking down the side or anything like that. It's probably like 7 to 9 food trucks. It's not like a ton of food trucks.
Are you going to have portalets there or some kind of facilities?
So we did think about that. It's a 3-hour event. So we felt like since it's not a day-long event and they hopefully will be coming from Donaldson Park where there are public restrooms, we thought that those facilities would suffice.
Across the museum too.
Part-
The parking lot across the museum, there's also public restrooms.
Right. And it's not a long event. It's, it's 2-3 hours. So, we just thought people may not come for like a whole 3 hours. They may come for an hour and a half. If they've been to the park for a couple hours with their kids, they may not want to come and spend like another 3 hours at their food truck rally.
It's going to be on private property.
Correct.
I'm assuming you have your alcohol permit?
So I do have to have a question about that. So this is serving samples. We're not selling anything. They're handing out stickers and samples. So do we need a
Mr.
permit for
Attorney, do
that?
you want-
Can I add to that? Because
Please.
I've talked to her about it, but in our mobile food dispensing vehicles now, it's going to be an interpretation what that is, because she's going to tell you it's a promotion, but selling or distributing alcohol is against our code for these vehicles. Now, it'd be Jerry's opinion, I guess, on it. To me, it's still whatever you call it, it's still a vehicle there with the other food ones handing out free samples of alcohol.
Distributing. I don't know how you can avoid that without changing the ordinance.
I don't either.
Okay, so if I did have a permit, like, they have the 1-day permits that you could have for 3 or 4 hours, would that suffice?
No, because it's selling or distributing alcohol is mobile food dispensing vehicles are prohibited.
Okay.
Is there anything else, this lot that we're talking about, are we talking about where Pure Grit is, or are we talking about down by Donaldson Park, the old
Muffler place.
the old muffler shop? Okay, so there's not any kind of a restaurant there or anything like that.
No, I also made sure that we were, not. we were
It's
far
more than
away.
the 200 feet. It's like
Yeah.
318. We
Yeah.
looked.
You
I see.
counted?
If you wanted to change it, I'd recommend that you change it to, it still have to be the majority of the transactions are food as opposed to alcohol. Otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it basically comes down to, is there support to want to change the motion? Do we think it's a good idea to serve alcohol from food trucks, basically, is what it comes down to.
So can I just say something on that too?
Sure.
So I'm not like, looking to have an event where people are getting inebriated, right?
Sure.
I'm just looking to have an event where there is a cross section of people that can be facilitated from all different
Mhm.
areas and age groups and interests and likes and dislikes, et cetera. And so my thought is that I would like to request the ordinance to be changed or adjusted or amended in some way to facilitate serving of alcohol. And we're talking beer and wine. We're not talking hard liquor, and we're not talking for hours on end. And where people would have a wristband. So for future events, I'm just thinking where they would have a wristband, I would get a license for the day. And we have limited servings, like where they buy like 3 or 4 tickets. Once your tickets are done, that's it. There are 2 different ways I can do this. One, through a microbrewery that has a mobile truck, or where the chamber purchases from like a Bernie Little. We have a tent, we don't have a truck, and we distribute, sell with our volunteers.
Well, as I mentioned, it's not atypical to have it, when the majority to allow it, where the majority of the transactions are food related and the alcohol is really just an add-on. But just bear in mind that you still have Oktoberfest events there coming, so that'll be something you'll have to deal with.
I'd love to do Oktoberfest in the future.
So just let me know if you want to change it and how you want to change it, and I'd be happy to do so. Otherwise, I'll continue along. It's prohibited.
I have a question. Kamala, this was your idea or the food trucks?
That's my idea.
And per wristband,
Mhm.
what, how many drinks and what size are we talking about?
I mean, it would be a certain color or, I mean,
No, I mean, I'm not a drinker, so
No.
help me out.
Mhm.
I come and I get a wristband.
mhm.
How many drinks can I get per that one wristband
Two.
and what size drink?
Two, and it's a standard, it's a standard size
glass of
cup.
wine.
Glass of wine or a beer. Mhm.
Okay,
A sample glass.
a sample.
Mhm.
Not a glass of wine, a sample.
So for the one that's coming up on the 29th, from what Jerry is saying, it's prohibited, right? So if you did amend it, then we would do samples, which are super little samples, and it would be, we'd give everyone a wristband where once you've had two samples, that's it, you're done, right?
The 29th of this month?
Correct.
Yeah, you can't get that done. I don't know if
Okay.
there's enough time to advertise, even if you get a special meeting,
Mhm.
because you need 10 days in between the first reading and the second reading. I
Okay.
can get it done by tomorrow,
Mhm.
but that still mean that you'd have to have a special meeting
Okay.
somewhere in between or change your
Well,
meeting.
and then add in, we've got to do the new thing you just passed tonight, go to the businesses and talk to them. So,
Yeah, right, because it'll be
because I don't, just that alone, I don't think we're going to be able to do them 2 weeks apart anymore.
That's a
They're
good-
probably
that's a-
going to be a month apart.
That's a
That's
really
fine.
good point.
Can an event like this happen if it's in conjunction with a restaurant that already serves alcohol?
Not if it's, being consumed over the food truck area. I mean, it's got to be at the restaurant if the restaurant's allowed to have it. You
In
can't,
other words, if there's a restaurant that wants to have like an outdoor festival in conjunction with the restaurant, is that something that's?
I don't know if anything allows you to have open containers outside
I see.
at this point.
Okay.
And we talked about it one time, having allow people to be on the sidewalk, and we had to get approval from DOT for that, and they actually did approve it, but then they said they wanted to get certain things done, but you all changed your mind because COVID was gone at that point, and nobody seemed interested in wanting to do it anyway. So that's how it ended up. Right now, open containers, verboten, and they're
Sure.
and dispensing of alcoholic beverages at special events. Also,
So I don't mind, obviously the 29th is around the corner, so I'm okay with, not having it then, but it is something I'd like for the council to consider, in the future.
Yeah.
January is our Fusion Fest and we would like to have it then, which is January 27th. That's coming up. I think we just put in the festival application for that today. So I'll come up probably in the future. And then, I'd love to have an Oktoberfest next year. So there is a way to do it through a restaurant. So Sheila's Pub, for example, in Sebring, they allow their license to be used by one of their bartenders who does outdoor farmers markets. So she can sell alcohol under their license.
Right. In Sebring with the Sebring ordinance,
Correct.
not
And
with the Avon Park ordinance.
So this
That's
is
the
where,
whole thing.
this is where I'm asking.
Yeah, I get it.
Could we facilitate something like that,
Right. What you're asking is for us to change the ordinance,
please?
plain and simple.
Thank you.
Okay. All right,
Can I just add that?
please.
If you're going to move that way, then Jerry will also have to look at 6.1. It's talking about alcohol and it's includes semi-public parking lots, which is against code right now. So we'd have to
Yeah.
look at both of them.
Yeah, let's knock it all out at the same time. I mean, parks, streets, because we'd like to have a street dance in the
Yeah.
future, if you have
I
something
think,
in the park.
it's just,
Go
since we have some time, maybe
Yeah.
Mark and I could put our heads together and make a proposal to you
Yeah,
if you are inclined
yeah.
to go that route. If you're not inclined to go that route, then we won't spend the time on it.
right. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is there enough support to go that route? For me, it's a no. So,
Yeah, the only time I remember seeing I think we had Oktoberfest once on Museum.
Yep.
Where the whole thing was blocked off
Mhm.
and they might have had one or two.
They had a beer garden. It was a
Beer
tent,
garden.
big tent they had.
And, you know, and when I lived in California, they used to block off like the whole downtown area. And they used to, one of the charities used to sell the wristbands for $10 because they would check your IDs. But
Correct.
then you could walk around the whole downtown circle type area
Mhm.
and there were liquor stores and stuff like that, and they allowed you to walk around and drink. But here we don't really have that situation. The only thing else would be, well, okay, if you blocked off like museum or someplace where if you had police sheriff there, then somebody could drink, but they'd have to keep it in that area.
That would be a requirement. So
Yeah.
like nobody's walking around with
Yeah.
beer or
Yeah,
walking
no,
around with wine.
I
It would
know.
have to, they would have to stay within the confined area of where it's being served.
But let me just also point out that the last time we had Oktoberfest, I think we got sued for somebody tripping over a car stop. Irony of ironies.
Well, I mean, you could sue anybody for walking down the sidewalk and tripping on one of our sidewalks. too.
And again, the idea is not to cause drunkenness or to cause any kind of issue. It's more just to facilitate others that may want to participate, but
I'm
sometimes
not-
it's prohibitive.
I'm not opposed to it.
Mhm.
And I'm
Because
not,
if,
sorry.
if they're gonna drink, they're gonna bring their own. You can't regulate, you can't watch that, how many they've had.
It's an open container though.
Well, they bring.
Not if it's got a lid, you wouldn't
That's an
know.
open container.
It is open container
You're
if you
just
catch them.
inviting a whole bunch of.
I feel like if we're gonna invite a lot of families and stuff like that, I don't feel like the two mix. Personally, I say keep it safe and inviting for all ages at all times and
But a food truck rally in the evening really isn't for little kids or even a street
even
dance.
if it may not be, you know, they're gonna, I mean, especially if you're having it right after Donaldson Park.
Mhm.
In all likelihood, they're gonna walk with their family from Donaldson Park to the
Grab
next
some food.
event and all the
Mhm.
kids are gonna be there. I feel like it's
Mhm.
just safer if you just,
For the 29th for sure, but I'm talking about future events like Fusion Fest in January or an Oktoberfest next year, October, or just future events. I mean, Sebring and Lake Placid both have beer and wine at their events. And it's been very successful in terms of the conduct of individuals as well as the respect for how much people are allowed to be served.
Kamala, I say I'm for it. Not a drinker, I'm for it. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to have different people attend to be able to enjoy it at different levels. I feel like if your parent drank at the house, what difference is it gonna make whether they drink out in the streets? You done saw them drink before, and you probably done saw them drunk. But I would say, the council would keep an eye on it.
Of course.
If it get out of hand, maybe
Mhm.
we can pull it back. I would say give it a shot. I mean, give it a shot. Let's see. I mean, it's something different. It's something new for Avon Park. If it get out of hand, we can always pull it back. You know, your events. Kamala, can't do it anymore. You know, that's just my opinion.
And it's on the chamber, so it's not on the city.
If only it were that simple.
Oh, come
All
on.
right, so in order to do this ordinance, it sounds like there's enough support to at least explore it. So do you have everything that you need to look at doing the ordinance and would it be a case by case basis? Jerry?
Yeah, it would always be a case by case basis for special events for review, just like you're doing
What-
right now. But this would allow you to make the option for events, that you thought it was appropriate in the circumstances.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
The current code on this, under the public consumption, because we're talking about, she's dealing right now with private property, which really is, the council can't say yay or nay, right? On somebody else's private property, not, I mean, just to have the event, the alcohol, yeah, I mean, she can't, is prohibited. You can't have the trucks handing out. But right now, if you, and you know this because you've done it before on small things and it's on this form, but special events where council has specifically approved possession and consumption of alcohol in open containers. Now that's on your property at the park. If you approved an event, you can do that that has nothing to do with these trucks. So that's already in there that they can do that. And to add to this, I got with Jerry a day or two ago, started because these I started looking at some other cities on these special events, and we need a whole new form. I got with Jerry on hold harmless and indemnification. So that's something that he sent me one today. It looks really good from Plant City. And so that's just something we're looking at, because a lot of questions come up and a lot of these forms aren't filled out completely and there's too many questions on them. And like one of them says, you're gonna have alcohol, you're gonna hire at least 2 deputies or police officers, wherever jurisdiction you're in, they're gonna be there, because where there's alcohol, there's always some problem.
Shenanigans.
And I'm totally for that. I have that anyway at any event that I have. I always invite like the EMS, fire truck, sheriff, CAPS, because I want that presence. I want people to feel like there is policing going on. And so I think that that's important. We can also get from Lake Placid and from Sebring their forms as well, because they do have that availability.
Well, I saw Sebring's and theirs is as bad as ours is right now, so. But I'm not against anything. I'm just telling you that we need to tweak this, and I got with Jerry already. It had nothing to do with your events on here.
Mhm.
But you know, like on this food truck thing on the private property, now you're asking for cones so nobody leaves and gets onto the street. I mean, to me, these events, if you're gonna have them, needs to have street closing. If you got a lot of people showing up and okay, they're just samples. Okay, well, you can have 10 samples. Next thing you know, we got somebody out in the road. And like you said, it is all on you because you got insurance through.
Mhm. But the
this guy,
samples
so-
are again being limited. It's, we're not there to have people go crazy. It's really, it's more of a, like any event, you have to monitor. There's always some individuals that come in rowdy and raunchy and want to behave obnoxious, and we just have to watch that.
Okay, so again, Jerry, do you have everything that you need at this point to explore it?
Yeah, I think that Mark and I can put our heads together and figure out something, make a proposal to you and see if you like it. And I think Mark's already working on special events work. So I think my aspect of this will be very small, just make an amendment to the ordinance, for food truck ordinance, if that's what you want in the future. But certainly we need to deal with the Oktoberfest issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
right
for the-
now, this is a small food truck rally, but I would like it to grow in the future and be something bigger and grander. So I want to look into the future and
If
see.
it's good, hopefully it will. So bring
Okay.
us back to this particular event. So do you still want to ask for this particular event, obviously without the use of alcohol?
Yes, I want to do the event. It's moving
Without the use of
forward
alcohol
without-
for the 29th?
Correct, because
Okay.
that's been prohibited, right? That's in the ordinance already. So no
Yep.
biggie.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve without the use of alcohol?
I'll approve it. The 11 with the use of no alcohol or
Mhm.
distribution of no alcohol.
All right, so we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire, Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, last but not least. Item number 13, this would be the Christmas choir concert in the park. Gemma?
Again, this is an event that's been longstanding with the high school choir. Mr. Jones really organizes this. I just facilitate the name that the chamber is hosting. He has made all the arrangements. Again, people come early, they line up, they sit around, they wait for the choirs from the different high schools to participate. So I would like to have this be a little bit more. And so we are inviting vendors to participate, but again, small amount, like, 10 to 15 vendors. It's not like a big festival or anything like that. It's just to facilitate people coming in early and having a little bite to eat or a little entertainment while they're waiting for the choirs.
Is this the same thing they have every year where they set up the stands in front of the Jacaranda?
No, this is in Downson Park.
Right, now it is, but
Oh.
before, a couple years ago, previous years, they've put stands up and I guess they would sing.
I think they're on the steps or something.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
right.
know.
And then they would close Main Street up. Is that in code with this?
I don't know, to be
No.
honest. I mean,
Okay.
this is just what I'm calling, the Christmas choir in the park.
Mhm.
And I was contacted by Mr. Jones from the high school. He said the chamber is always sponsored this and we've done it for years. And I said, okay,
All right, it kind of sounds like it might be.
It's the same thing. They just.
Okay.
moved to the park. There was too many people.
Gotcha.
okay. So it moved from the Jacaranda to the park. Is that what happened? Okay.
So how many choirs you got showing up?
Again, he's organizing it all, but he's got the high school, the middle school. I'm not as involved in the details of how many choirs. I know it goes from 6 to 8 and he's got someone every 20 minutes. So I guess if you do the math on that, and there's like a little 10-minute transition between groups.
Mhm.
They are on like a little platform, a little stage. He rents the equipment from Palmer Rental. He's already got it organized. The only thing I'm doing is signage and vendors and providing just oversight.
So it's choirs,
Mhm.
food trucks, but no alcohol.
Correct.
Why not?
Not for Christmas. Come on.
All right.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve D13 for the Christmas choir in the park.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire, Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Ms. Long, thank you very much.
Okay, I do have one last little thing I would like to ask, if you don't
Okay.
mind. And that is, given that these events are longstanding, they've been here obviously long before I've ever started doing this. Is it possible to do some type of a memorandum of understanding where the first Monday after Thanksgiving is always the Christmas parade? The Monday after the Christmas parade is Christmas in the park or Christmas choir in the park, et cetera. Is it possible to do something like that where I definitely have to have something that triggers, city staff where they need to know whether there's a road closure or cones are needed or whatever. But as opposed to coming before you each time for each of these events, can we do anything like that where there is a memorandum of understanding that these events are Avon Park events? Because if I'm just looking at it from this perspective, if I wasn't here, like the chamber's doors were locked and there isn't a chamber director, would there be a Christmas parade in Avon Park? Okay.
Somebody has to do it. City's not doing it. So there may be another organization that would step up and do it, but city's not going.
It might not be a bad idea just to establish a protocol for these so that you don't have to have approval and go through this each time.
Sure.
At least for the easy ones like choir and things like that, which are obviously the brainers.
Correct. That's the ones I'm asking for. Parade, choir. In the future, we might add Springapalooza because I'd like to bring that back as a staple. So those are like the big staple events that we used to have.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you have to have the same route each time, the same road closure each time, the same park usage?
Exactly.
Same
Et cetera, et
road
cetera.
closures, all that
Everything.
stuff.
Yeah, so basically whatever you ask for approval for, you're gonna be married to those set of criteria.
Unless I come before you for a
Unless you
change.
come back, yeah.
Mhm, correct. And then we would have something to trigger between the city and the chamber saying, hey, we need to have some type of application form or some type of form filled out for requests for service or
You
help.
mean like
If there's something,
I literally did.
killing me, killing me.
I didn't touch.
I guess if there is something different, but there wouldn't be really,
If you get your application in on time, it will be done.
I bought myself a shirt that says probably late for something.
Okay.
There's a
It's
reason.
not the Christmas parade.
All right, exactly. So I'd like for that to be entertained, a memorandum of understanding that these are events, these staple events, it's three. It's a parade, it's the Christmas in the park, and in the future, Springapalooza.
Why don't you come up with details for each
Yeah,
one of those
sure.
that you would want to be standardized?
Okay,
We'll see what we can figure out.
yeah, I can send that to you, absolutely, 100%. Thank you.
Sounds great.
Thank you,
Anything
guys.
else?
Thank you, everyone.
Nope. Great.
Appreciate your help. Thank you.
All right. Item number 14, the council to vet Tanya Marshall for appointment to the Avon Park Fire Department Pension Board.
So I did Miss Marshall. That's on me. I was supposed to call her on Friday and I got sidetracked. So she's not here tonight.
Okay,
Okay.
I think we all know her.
Yeah, we all know her. And I know that they've been looking for somebody since, I think, January. And I believe that attending their pension meetings, that they always ask me if the city knows of anybody, a recommendation. And they usually say do, you know, they like to vet them first if they could, just to see how interested that they really are to be, and if they have any knowledge or any interest in being educated in the finance. So I've known Tanya for a long time. She's served the community in many, many different ways. I think that she would be excellent at this, and I know that they really want somebody bad. I think she's a great choice. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that she's perfect for it.
Did you ever finish your thought there on did the board actually vet her and give an opinion on her?
I don't know. Since the last pension meeting we had, they didn't have anybody at that time. So, but I know that every time we have one, they have it every quarter. They always bring it up to me, and I actually had somebody interested and actually gave an application. Unfortunately, I think he's moving out of the city, so he had to back up. So, but I know Warren West is always, he's retired, but he's always, I think he's the president of the pension board, always, or chairman or whatever. And he always asked me about it. And some of the other members there that are still active, Clint always asked me to see if we could bring them into bed just to see how interested. And I'm sure, knowing Tanya the way she is, that she probably approached them and said, I'd like to be able to take the position, or somebody offered to her, and somebody talked about it and said, I think she's great. So I'm ready to move forward with that. If anybody has an objection, or do you want to
No,
wait?
you can make a motion such that, approve her subject to an objection by the board.
I don't think that they really, I think this may be the city choice.
Well, it is, right, but you said you wanted to have them vet first, but you can
But
hear.
no, I say they like to, but
Okay, if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we could put it in there, but my guess is they've already have.
Is this the only vacancy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And they've been vacant all year. So
Yeah. Okay, I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, if there's too much drama, then we'll hear about it, make adjustments. So,
well, there's enough people there to know something.
sure. All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve Tanya Marshall for appointing to the Avon Park Fire Department Pension Board.
Is there a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. All right, any attorney updates?
And depending on what the staff has, I know there was a couple of issues regarding dates we need to talk about. So Mark probably has that on his mind.
Yeah, I got it on mine.
Okay. All right, moving on to the city manager report.
You see in there, I noted a meeting with the FAA and Atlanta Regional Office, October 25th. Kevin Willis, if you remember his name, he's the director out of DC, who is really behind this AIPP going through. He's retiring here soon. He sounds like he's trying to speed it up, so he's coming in. Lowell's going to be there. David hopefully will be there. He's flying in from something else he's doing. I'm going to go up, and FAM will be there ×9. They told me the other day, but it's going to be a day-long meeting going through the lease and the application, all that. And he's doing it, from what I understand, to speed this up so he can get it done before he retires. So it sounds like a good thing.
So the FAA is the one that requested the meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, the director did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's getting close.
Okay. Anything else?
Chrissy's got the annual ethics training for council members. Am I saying anything?
Get it done.
Get her done. So far I have, think 2 people that still need to contact me.
Okay.
No names.
No names. I didn't say.
Any questions on ethics training?
I'm actually doing one on Saturday for Zolfo Springs. You can join us if you.
In Zolfo?
Yeah.
Wait, this is online, right? Oh, okay.
You can do it online, or you can go see Jerry's smiling face in Sulphur Springs on
So,
Saturday.
so if you go through me, it's the online one.
Okay.
But the online one's already paid for, right?
I didn't buy it until I got confirmation
From the
from the
individual.
individuals who
I
reached
got
out.
you. Okay.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Seeing none.
Okay, we got your second meeting in November and your second meeting in December. We'd like to get your thought on that, whether to cancel them or move them to a different date so that everybody knows and can plan things.
As usual, is there anything pressing that you're aware of at this point that we would need to have those meetings?
No,
Okay. Well, as usual, I would vote to cancel both those meetings like we typically do. If anything unusual pops up or emergent pops up, then we can schedule an emergency meeting at a date that everyone can arrive at. But as I said, usually we take both those meetings off. So
I agree.
anyone opposed? You got a question?
I do, but it doesn't pertain to that. It's about, well, when we're done talking about that.
Okay. All right. So you need a motion to cancel both those meetings?
I would say yes.
So move.
So we have a motion to cancel the second meeting of November and December. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll call a roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
You're saying?
I got a call from a resident about the trick or treating going all day long.
I don't think we said that.
Huh? Yeah, there was no time set. I wasn't sure if maybe we should revisit that. See how it goes, maybe set a time. I think you're gonna find that kids are gonna stay out really late. It's up to you. And see how it goes or change it.
I doubt there's gonna be enough participants to make huge difference, but undoubtedly, someone's gonna get pissed off because somebody's gonna knock on their door at midnight. Like,
Yes.
which is what you're getting at, I'm sure. It's up to the council. I mean, if you want to set a time limit or not,
5 to 8:30.
turn them into bed
Is
early.
it?
So that's early for trick or treat.
Well, believe me, if they're out in the neighborhood walking around, and you either got your lights on, your lights off, or you don't answer the door, you do so.
Sure.
But
Yeah, I mean, 9:30,
sure.
That's fine.
close. You want to set a start time?
5,
Do people go out?
9:30?
Start by then, right? We're gonna be, do we go back on daylight saving time or off of it or something?
Not yet. I
don't
don't think till November.
November?
A lot of the parents with the younger kids want to do it before it gets dark.
Mhm.
just
Like
for
what,
safer.
4? 5, what?
5.
I would say around dinner time would probably be
5?
fine. Yeah.
5 to 9:30?
Yes,
Okay. Does anyone care to make that motion?
I'll make the motion. We approve it from 5 to 9:30.
Okay. So trick or treating 5 to 9:30. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, call a roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor, Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Mark, did you have anything else on dates that you needed to work out?
no.
Did you have something else?
Oh, I was just gonna ask to make sure that that was fixed on the website.
I'll take care of it in the morning.
Chrissy's got it.
I mean, I 2 people had called me and I thought,
Okay. Well, that concludes our regularly scheduled agenda. Is there anything else for the good of the city?
Yep.
Seeing none. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, please.
Seeing no opposition, we are adjourned.